What is good, everyone? It's gonna be my video for tonight's Raw, Monday Night Raw review, March 28th, 2011, the last Raw before WrestleMania 27, which is this Sunday. And I gotta say, this was a pretty explosive Raw. I thought it was pretty good. Um, yeah, I mean, again, wrestling wise, there really wasn't much. There's an okay tag team match, but then I was basically just all WrestleMania build up. I thought this was a pretty fucking good Raw, in my opinion. I mean, I thought I could say it was great. I mean, the Triple H Undertaker segment with the surprise appearance, which I'll get to, and then the main event segment with Rock, Miz, and Cena was, man, it was goosebumps. But I'm just gonna get right into it. The show opens with CM Punk sitting in the middle of the ring, just like cross-leg Indian style. And man, I could already tell this crowd was hot as hell. Um, he talks about Chicago. There is people and big pop for Punk. CM Punk chants. He talks about WrestleMania. He won't care what happens to Randy Orton. He says his problem is Randall Keith Orton. Punk says he could get anyone. And I don't know what he said there. He says last week Orton messed up. Punk shows what happened last week when he and Orton were outside of his Randy's tour bus or whatever. Punk talks about Randy should have never punted him in the skull 2 years ago. Punk says he's just getting started and they'll end this shit Sunday, or something like that. And out comes Randy Orton, who it sounded like he got a huge fucking pop. He's limping his way down to the ring. Uh, had a bandage on his knee. Gets in the ring and he and Punk go at it and hits an uppercut that decks Punk. And then hits his rope assisted DDT and he lines up to pump Punk. The crowd's just nuts at this point. But his knee gives out. Then Punk leaves the ring and gets back in. Sees Orton's vulnerable. Um, hits him in the hits him in the knee. Then hits him with the GTS. A lot of CM Punk chants. Punk leaves the ring to a nice, pretty good pop, and then we get hyped for Taker and Triple H face to face tonight, and then also hyped for the Rock, Cena, and Miz showdown. And we see Christian backstage, who knocks on the door, and it's Edge's locker room. Edge comes out, and Christian says, "Oh, bringing out the trench coat tonight, huh?" And it's just good stuff there. And they talk about Del Rio for a little bit, and so they're heading to the ring for a match. We go to commercial, and then back from commercial, out comes Edge, who he's kind of doing his old entrance. When he comes out, he goes to each part of the stage and gets really pumped up and gets the fans hyped. It's pretty cool. It's like nostalgia almost. So Edge comes out, and then Christian both got nice pops, and Alberto Del Rio's out next in another sick whip. And then Brodus Clay, his tag team partner, is already out there, I guess. They just showed him all of a sudden. He's like, yeah, boy. It's just this weird shit he does. So first match tonight is Edge and Christian versus Alberto Del Rio and Brodus Clay. ENC, ENC win after Edge hits the spear on Brodus Clay, and after the match, Del Rio locks in the cross arm breaker on Christian. Then Edge chases him off, but Del Rio comes back and nails Edge from behind, and then puts him in the cross arm breaker. I thought this feud's been really well built, and we get hyped for the Snooki, 6-man tag match at WrestleMania. And we see Trish and Snooki, and they're in some bar in New Jersey, drinking. Yeah, we go to commercial. Then back from commercial, we see the Miz and Alex Riley backstage. The Miz takes a picture of the huge WWE logo turned upside down, takes a picture of it on his phone. Then an email comes in. Cole says, "Oh, I'll take this one on my iPad," and basically, the email says King will be in a match tonight with Jack Swagger. So then we get a really, really good, excellent promo, in my opinion, for the hyping up the Undertaker as Triple H match at WrestleMania. And I thought it was funny to note that they show Taker tombstoning all of his opponents, just finishing them off, except for Triple H. So they're completely, just erasing that match, I guess, from, like it never happened before. So I don't know. Uh, so yeah, that was a really cool promo. And then we get hyped again for a face off between the two. We go to commercial, and back from commercial, we see the Cores in the ring. And now comes Kane and Big Show, followed by Santino and Kozlov with Tamina. And then they announced before the match gets started. The match was Santino Marella versus Justin Gabriel, by the way. But before that match got started, they announced at WrestleMania it'll be the Core versus Kane and Big Show. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then Santino and Kozlov. What? Excuse me? What what the I mean, what does that doesn't make any sense at all. What about Kofi Kingston just lost his Intercontinental title last Friday on SmackDown to Wade Barrett? I mean, you figure he'd want some of the core, and then because they beat his ass afterward too. I mean, I read earlier tonight that they were gonna make it Big Show and Kane and Kofi, and then Christian, which would have been more stupid since he's involved with the Edge, like Del Rio shit. So I'm glad they didn't throw Christian into it, but still, like, really? Santino and Kozlov, when there's guys like, I don't like him, but R-Truth, who's talented, Ted DiBiase, who hasn't won a match in fucking God knows how long, Evan Bourne, just, all these guys, and now Kofi, they just don't have a match at WrestleMania. I mean, that's just bullshit. Like Santino and Kozlov, really? You might as well have just made it the core versus the Big Show and Kane. It would have at least been entertaining. Why not add Kevin Nash in there? I heard there were rumors of that happening. Oh man, this is WWE booking at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't understand that. I mean, Santino and Kozlov, really? Like, come on. I mean, I guess I know because they lost the tag titles to Slater and Gabriel, and they've been beaten down on a few occasions. Um, by the group, but ugh, I just I don't get this at all. So yeah, it'll be a WrestleMania the core versus the Kane, Big Show, Santino Marella, and Vladimir Kozlov. Anyways, Santino versus Gabriel. Santino wins with the Cobra. After the match, Santino and Kozlov, Tamina, celebrating with the trumpet thing, and then Big Show does it, and then Kane does it too, which is the funniest part. And you gotta love Kane. I mean, he'll do some funny segments every now and then, especially back in 2002 when he was tag team champs with like RVD or just Hurricane, and he was just he always and did the Kane Rooney and stuff, just great shit like that. It was funny to see Kane do that. Just fucking awesome. It was really funny. Then we see Triple H walking backstage, so that face-off's obviously going up next. We go to commercial, and back from commercial, we see Kerry Hilson will sing "America the Beautiful" at WrestleMania. Thank God. Thank you, WWE. Anyone but Justin Bieber. Thank you. Kerry Hilson's pretty fine too. So yeah, and then back to the arena, and Taker's gong sounds, and like you could literally see everyone in there get out of their seat. The whole crowd stand up. It was awesome. Then his music plays, and out comes the dead man, and then Taker's in the ring. Still has all his attire on. Interesting to note, he's wearing pants again too, like when he first came back in 2004. His singlet and then pants. So I think that's pretty cool. Uh, so yeah, and then uh, yeah, Taker's music still playing, and then Triple H's music hits, and he comes out, and then when he's about to do his water spit thing, uh, Taker's gong goes off and the lights go out, and I thought, oh, something's gonna happen. The lights go back on, but the lights come back on, and Triple H and Taker just face to face. For a second, I thought Triple H still had the water in his mouth, and maybe he'd spit it at Taker, but that would have just been heel Triple H right there, which would have been nice. But so they're face to face, and then all of a sudden, dun 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 dun, oh, yeah. Sorry, that was just horrible. But Shawn Michaels' music hits and crowd went nuts. I marked out too. I was like, HBK baby. Fucking Shawn Michaels, that was awesome. Big HBK chant start. HBK gets in the ring. He says, I wasn't gonna miss this, and he puts over Taker and Triple H individually. Looks at them both while he does it, and says, perhaps Triple H's greatest asset is me because I'm his best friend. And then he says, after this Sunday, neither of you will be the same, no holds barred match. Shawn says he has just but one question. He starts asking it, looking at Taker, but then he turns to Triple H and says, what makes you think you can do what I couldn't? And the crowd's like, oh, and Triple H just looks at Shawn, and it's pretty cool right there. And Triple H says, you want the truth, Shawn? You want soft. And the crowd again, like, oh, it's funny. And Tripp says, he's not. Triple H basically says, I'm not Shawn Michaels, not even close, but I have to win, and I will. And Triple H says, 16 years ago, when he walked into that locker room, he saw icons, and he's like, I saw icons of future Hall of Famers. He says, and I saw one guy that stood head and shoulders above them all. And I saw a guy that, would smash the side of his face, just bust it open, would go back to work the next night, stuff like that. And he says, that guy was you, dead man. And Tripp says, he's respected him every day. He gained more respect for him every single day, and he says there's only one other guy who I have the same respect for, maybe even a little more, and that's Shawn. Then Triple H said he came back after a year for one reason only: to stand here out of respect and tell you that it's time. And Tripp says a lot of people can't see that, but he can. Triple H says he will tells Taker, you will always be the dead man and the phenom. He says, hang on one second. Sorry about that. Just I hear weird noises outside, and sometimes I get freaked out. Anyways, yeah, he says you'll always be the phenom and the dead man. He says, but in 6 days you will no longer be undefeated at WrestleMania. Triple H says, I will be the one, 18-1. Triple H says at Mania, Deadman, you and your streak will rest in peace. And after that, I was like, damn, like, oh, it's on now. It's good shit. And Taker grabs the mic and from Shawn. And what I always noticed about Undertaker throughout his whole career, whenever he talks on the mic, he takes off, the WWE logo, the square on the microphone. He just likes holding it, with just regular mic. I always thought that was interesting. But he grabs the mic and says, if he ever got to a time, um, where he felt like, just Taker says, if I ever got to a time where I felt like I had to be put down by someone, you'd be the guy to do it. Taker says, that's the respect I have for you. He says, but I'm not ready to be put down yet. He says, after WrestleMania, the streak will be alive, and so will I. He says, ask Shawn. He says, he's like, that man put me through two of the greatest WrestleMania matches in my career. Um, he says, but he still couldn't get it done, and you see Shawn like pretty pissed, getting a little pissed. Um, and he said, Taker says, when I look at Shawn now, I see a man who I humbled, and again the crowd is like, I don't see the same arrogance or like cockiness or whatever. I see a man who I've humbled, and the crowd, this crowd was great tonight. Like, oh, he says Shawn is a man going into Hall of Fame, full of regrets. And Taker looks like he pushes Shawn. That's what it looks like at first, because I didn't see him slap him. I don't think Taker would slap him. I think he just pushed him maybe, because Shawn gets pushed against the ropes. And then Shawn goes for Sweet Chin Music, but Taker catches him and then goes for a choke slam, but Triple H intervenes, and Triple H gets on the mic as Shawn backs up into the corner, and Triple H gets on the mic and says, Shawn, tell him why I'm going to win at WrestleMania. And he's like, Shawn, and Shawn's still in the corner, and he's just like kind of nodding his head. Or he leaves the ring, and the crowd's like, upset. They're booing, and Shawn doesn't say anything, and he's outside of the ring, and Triple H is looking out, and you could see Shawn's lips that, I'm sorry, you can't win, or like, you can't beat him. And Triple H looks kind of, upset and confused and pissed, obviously. And uh, so Shawn walks back up the round. Triple H turns around, Taker tips his hat to him, and then walks off. I thought that was an awesome, awesome fucking segment. I mean, wow, it was almost like 25 minutes. I thought it was fucking awesome. Wow, I got goosebumps. Just really good stuff. We go to commercial, more hype for the Rock Cena Miz showdown later on the night. And back from commercial, Jack Swagger's in the ring with Cole running their little stupid laps. Out next is King. He's got new theme music too, which I actually kind of like. So it's King versus Jack Swagger. Match ends really quickly as King hits Swagger with a steel chair in the back a bunch of times, and then he goes after Cole, runs back into his little rat cage, and King almost gets him, but Cole's security guards hold him back, and then Cole splashes what looked like to be coffee on his face. Just another pussy move by that punk bitch, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Shit's getting to his head. Watch my video I posted earlier about Cole, how he's actually, letting this shit get to his head. You'll see what I mean. I mean, this dude is just out of his mind. So yeah, what a fucking bitch. And then we get hyped again for the Rock Cena Miz segment. Yeah, we go to commercial, and back from commercial to see Vicky Guerrero walking down the ring, who then whips out John Morrison's sunglasses and does his. Sorry, it's all this imitation tonight. Imitating shit. It's WrestleMania season. What can I say? I'm giddy. But yeah, she does John Morrison's like pose, and Cole's like, "Oh, this is great." Oh, he's like, "Vicky looks great." Like, oh my god. I mean, my hatred for Michael Cole is just, man, it's fucking bad. Like, I want to beat his ass. But so Yeah, and then so then basically she's getting a shitload of heat on the mic. She actually didn't say excuse me, which is surprising.